Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Captain Ishita and I welcome you on board License to Fly, a show that brings to you fascinating insights, stories from ace pilots and aviation veterans. So if you're an aspiring pilot or an aviation enthusiast, fasten your seatbelts and let's take off. So today is World Pilots Day, and what better day to kickstart License to Fly. In the first episode, The Takeoff, we'll be discussing fundamentals of being a pilot with a very special guest. Someone who stands out and is the best amongst us. Please welcome none other than Captain Ashim Mitra, our Senior Vice President of Flight Operations at Indigo. Welcome to the show, Captain.
Thank you for having me, Ishita. It's an absolute pleasure.
Sir, I cannot tell you how privileged I feel sitting next to you right now. You have over 40 years of experience, you've seen it all, done it all, and you've mentored so many of us. And to start off this series with you, it couldn't get any better.
It's my pleasure, and I'm excited to be here.
Sir, to begin with, could you share with us your journey? How did it all begin for you? How has it been for you?
My journey in aviation spans across 4.5 decades. I started my career as an aircraft maintenance engineer, repairing aeroplanes and maintaining them. But my eyes were always glued to the cockpit. I qualified as a flight engineer, and thereafter I flew for 7.5 years in that capacity. But I wanted to have control of the aircraft in my hands. And since then, I've been flying as a pilot for almost 35 years.
Wow, what a journey. So Captain, as you know, being an airline pilot is a dream for many. So first things first, what does it take to become a pilot?
I'm sure you'll agree that every child is fascinated whenever an aeroplane flies across the sky. And every time a pilot walks through an airport, most eyes turn and admire the glitter and glamour of the dashing uniform. But let me tell you, along with this glamour comes a huge responsibility. Not only the responsibility of the aeroplane, but hundreds of lives that you are carrying. Choosing this profession should come from a place of absolute passion. What I mean is that you must love what you do. It should give you the feeling that you haven't worked a single day of your life. The next most important aspect, as you would know, Ishita, is mental and physical fitness, especially in this demanding environment of today. A successful pilot would need to work on his fitness every day. However, along with this passion and fitness, it is essential to have several other attributes to be a successful pilot. The top three are knowledge, skills, and a positive attitude. Knowledge, because you need to know the ins and outs of the machine, while flying skills are something that will get better with time and experience. Last but not least, having the right attitude is so important. It means that you are a clean learner who is willing to work hard, and come what may, you don't give up. It also means being open-minded and a team player, one who has good leadership qualities and of course a good communicator. But before all, passion. The passion for flying, that is the key.
Very true. I think if you really want to do justice to something, passion is a must. And also I think we don't give enough importance to attitude and mental health. We really should. So Captain, there are a lot of myths out there about being a pilot. For example, we get this asked a lot. Does one need a science background to become a pilot?
Ishita, you're right. There is a myth that one has to have a 10+2 with physics, maths and English. But if you don't, there is an alternate. You can go through an open university and get these subjects cleared from there. A minimum English level proficiency of 4 is mandatory. This is an ICAO requirement. The minimum age requirement to get a commercial pilot's license is 18. But you need to be 17 before you commence your basic flying training. For learning how to fly, there are some options. One could enroll in an approved flying school in India or overseas, or apply for an airline cadet pilot program. And here at Indigo, we have one of the most outstanding programs. Once enrolled, it takes approximately 18 to 24 months to complete the requirements of obtaining a commercial pilot license, and that would make you eligible to join an airline.
Thank you for that insight, sir. Also, sir, is it true that one needs a strong financial background to be able to afford this training?
Well, it is true. For an individual, the cost could entail a large amount. However, there are various other ways of going about it. Students have the option to join the National Cadet Corps Air Wing and get sponsored for flying training through the NCC right up to the private pilot license level. The other possibility is joining the Indian Air Force and Navy either through a permanent or short service commission. After this tenure, one could convert the license to a civilian license and become eligible to join an airline. In the same way, another possibility is to join the Coast Guard. And then there are some state governments who give scholarship to students desiring to pursue flying in state-sponsored flying schools. So that is another possibility that one could consider. And many Indian banks today offer a loan under certain conditions to acquire a flying license. It could also ease the way forward.
Brilliant. Even I did not know there are so many options. In fact, I remember when I started off as a student pilot, the only options I knew about were either finish your commercial pilot license training and join an airline or Air Force. So that was very insightful. Well, moving on to the next one. And what about the importance of health, Captain Ashim? Can someone who doesn't have perfect eyesight pursue this field, or can they fly with glasses on?
Absolutely. The requirement to be an airline pilot, you need an eyesight of 6x6 corrected. In other words, even with glasses, as long as you have 6x6 corrected, you're good to fly.
So, Captain, it is believed that aviation is a male-dominated field. What are your thoughts on that?
Not anymore. Look at yourself. Women walk shoulder to shoulder with men in the aviation industry. We at Indigo have 14%, which is 643 women pilots, and it's the highest in the world. It's great to see so many female pilots like yourself, and I always encourage more and more women pilots to join.
Absolutely, and it's totally worth it. In fact, I remember my first flight with all women crew was a big deal. The passengers were intrigued, they were congratulating us, whereas today it's more of a norm rather than an exception, so we have definitely come a long way. So Captain Ashim, you have so much of experience. Looking at the aviation industry as a whole, where do you think it's headed?
That's a lovely question. Indian aviation sector is poised for a phenomenal and healthy growth in terms of passenger, aircrafts and airports, with the number of air travelers projected to touch 40 crores by 2027. India is the third largest and fastest growing aviation market in the world. Indian Airlines have placed an order of 1,100 aircrafts that are to be delivered in the coming years. This period is called the golden era of Indian aviation. Like in a pilot's career, the saying is, you need to be in the right place at the right time. So no better time than now. It's once in a lifetime opportunity to pursue this profession.
Captain, you said it all. Moving on to the last bit. Myth or not, people think our life as a pilot is very glamorous. Traveling to exotic locations, the best of hotels and whatnot. What do you have to say about that?
Ishita, you know it all. Life as a pilot is great, no doubt about that, but it's not all vacations. Besides that glamour, there is a lot, and I mean a lot more than what meets the eye. A pilot is responsible for flying $1 million machine carrying hundreds of lives to take off and land safely every single time. So it requires the highest degree of professionalism and discipline every single day without fail. You may have to deal with unexpected situations such as weather changes, sudden mechanical failures, or other unforeseen emergencies. So, we have to train and get assessed regularly to handle these situations. And we have to work closely with air traffic controllers and other crew members to ensure the safety of our passengers and the aircraft. Of course, one of the biggest challenges is the different time zones that pilots have to manage. This takes a toll physically. There is no fixed time for sleeping or eating, and that's something that we have to manage every day on a daily basis. So this circles us back to the importance of maintaining physical fitness in a challenging job environment so that we can deal with all kinds of exigencies efficiently and effectively. At the end of the day, a pilot has the supreme responsibility riding on his shoulders of maintaining flight safety no matter what the odds are.
That does sound pretty demanding in more ways than one. Flying isn't something you can be sleepwalking through, so make sure you're in it for the right reasons. So, sir, what advice would you give to someone who's interested in being an airline pilot?
My advice would be to stay focused and work hard. It's a competitive field, but if you are passionate about flying and willing to put in all the effort, it can be a very rewarding career. So if you want to pursue this fulfilling career, ensure you are in it for the right reasons.
You just inspired me to keep learning and strive to do better. On that note, thank you for joining us, Captain Ashim, and sharing your knowledge and experience with us. It was a pleasure to host you and talk to you. I look forward to seeing you again and learning from you.
It was my absolute pleasure being here. I wish the best of luck to all the aspiring pilots and aviation enthusiasts listening to us today. Thank you for having me here today.
In the next episode of License to Fly, we'll take off on another journey with more industry insights, another guest, another topic. Till then, take care and wish you all a very happy World Pilots Day. This is Captain Ishita signing off.